Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs podcast. We're your hosts, Dan and Andy. Tonight is season 6, episode number 31, Andy. It's a songs edition.
Songs time, Thursday.
So it's a Thursday night. Today is June 12th, 2025. We're going to do an album review. This time, Dokken is on the docket.
Dokken on the docket.
So we're going to do an album review of Dokken. We've done a couple of theirs before, I believe. Never this one, but this one's important because of one reason, Andy. It's their first one. This is the debut. Now,
yes, or
they start on it. This one shouldn't really take too long. There's not a lot of meat here, but it is worthwhile because this is Breaking the Chains by Dokken, the debut album by American heavy metal band Dokken, originally released in Europe in 1981. So Andy, check this out. And the listeners here, here's the different album cover.
Yeah.
So they basically re-released it in 1983 in the US, but their original album was this. So it doesn't matter to me which one we use tonight, but this is the one here in the US we'll be more familiar with. Now, if you look at the title is Breaking the Chains without the G, just I-N hyphen. And then the next one is Breaking the Chains. So that's the only real difference. They released this in 1981. It basically, to summarize, it didn't do too well. And then they re-released it in the US after tweaking some things. So all things being equal, there's really two versions of this record out there. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, and also it was one of those, they only really had the one good song on here. I mean, the rest were okay, but the one real released hit song. But when the other stuff came out, then people went back to this album, kind of. It's like, oh, you got that album? You got that cassette? Can I get a copy from you? You know? So people had it. It would have been very popular on the Spotify for a couple songs, but.
Yes. That's a good way to remember it. So they released it. They went back and got some different members of the band, some different people in there. They kind of re-engineered it, retweaked it, redid some of the songs, changed some of the titles, some of the lyrics. And what we'll do tonight is really do a review on the U.S. version, the one you're looking at here. The album with this cover is the U.S. version that was released in September of 1983. So here is the track listing, Andy. Song 1, Breaking the Chains. Now, this is probably a song everyone here of our listeners is going to know, right?
It's got to be top 4 corniest videos ever on MTV.
Yes. So then they go to the next song in 1983 and this one was released on Elektra. So next song is In the Middle. Next song is Felony. And this is a Don Dokken written song about his romance with an underage girl. The song's called Felony. Next song is I Can't See You. Next song is Live to Rock, Rock to Live. And it's originally that song was called We're Illegal. That was released in the UK as a single, We're Illegal, but in the US you'll see that song as Live to Rock, Rock to Live. Next is Knight Rider, not the television series.
Nope.
But Knight Rider, basically your song, your heavy metal car song that the youth would play after getting your license and cruising around all night.
Yeah,
that was the audience for that. The next song is Seven Thunders. Next song is Young Girls. So once again, there's a theme here with the ladies. Next song is Stick to Your Guns, and the final song is a live version of Paris is Burning, recorded live in Berlin in December of 1982. That's a 5-minute song. Actually pretty good, but it wasn't on the first song, of course, the first album when they released it, because that was released in 81. This was a live recording that was recorded actually in 1982 from the song Paris. They call it here, Paris is Burning. So there were some mix-ups on the album, Andy. Even George Lynch said in an interview in 2011 that he says, there are actually 500 copies of the record Breaking the Chains that were misprinted, saying the band's name is Don Dokken. And they said, okay, stop the presses. It's not, that's his name. The band is just Dokken. And so anyway, there were some errors with that. It's considered heavy metal. It's considered glam metal. The 1983 version is 36 minutes, 24 seconds. Any thoughts on that?
They were one of those that really pushed that. They were one of those bands that kind of pushed that glam metal, heavy metal thing. George Lynch coming in made it, to me, heavy metal. Some people say it was just hard rock. I don't know. I think because I'm a big Dokken fan, so I'm going to be real biased on this one. So full disclosure, hard to be impartial on this one, but this big fan of Dokken. This was not a good album. Had a couple of good songs on it, but if you like Dokken, you still buy it and listen. It's not top of my rotation for them. It's not top of my, Dokken Mount Rushmore albums, but I'm a fan. I still got it.
So truth be told, it says that, Elektra basically considered this album a flop.
Yeah.
And their intention was to drop the band altogether. So I'm reading here from Wikipedia saying that the Dokken management convinced Elektra they could make a more successful album. And they said, give us one more shot. They'll clean up this one and re-release it, which they did, and it was fairly good. And the next one, they said, Tooth and Nail. Let's do that one. Tooth and Nail, and then we'll be more successful. And so, but I listened to this album, Andy, for the first time, and I thought, boy, if I was Elektra, I just don't know if I would even be carrying these guys. So not a surprise. It is weak. It's a weaker album. But here is look at some of the names here on the personnel of this group. Don Dokken, lead vocals, and very high pitch,
very distinctive voice.
Yes. George Lynch, some very good lead guitar work from the master himself. Bass was Juan Crouchier, and Mick Brown on drums. So the lineup was, proven over time to be, this is a pretty good group of people. It was just either not too tight, maybe sloppily done, some softer songs in there, but they had potential. But boy, Breaking the Chains was a song you could play at any bar, and people will sing along. They'll know that song. In fact,
that song was so above the rest. That song was so much better than the rest. It was just really
it's good. Just so good. The title track was named the 62nd greatest hard rock song by VH1. Now, that may be a stretch, but it is very good. It's a great song. So these guys were going through some growing pains, we'll call it. They had different members of the band in there, different people doing the tracks, recording this a couple times. They re-engineered it. They had some overdubs. It was a struggle, but they got it done, and it's actually a good thing. I think it was good to get this album done and behind them, because then they were ready to rock in the future. This was good one to get wrapped up and out of the way.
They got the jitters out of the way.
Yes, the Breaking the Chains was released in November of '83. So this album was released in the U.S. in September, and by November, when that single was released of '83, that started making some waves. And it's a nice short album. It's 36 minutes long. It's nothing too, it's out there. It's still got some good stuff on there. Now it shows on the Dokken chronology, Andy. You might know the answer to this. Their previous album was Back in the Streets. Back in the Streets. So that have been
an EP, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it must have been an EP.
7-inch.
So that must have been an EP first, because this is the first debut studio album. And then, of course, we all know they went on to do some good things. That song, Breaking the Chains, is also featured in the 2006 video game Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories. Vice City Stories. So that's what I've got. There's the album covers here. I'll show the original one back from 1981. Nothing glamorous there. I'm not sure if they hired an artwork firm to come up with this, or someone just created it on a Apple IIe or something.
Looks like one of those etch-a-sketch things you draw.
Or a kaleidoscope or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the album. It's it's worth listening to. Probably not worth buying, but if you're a fan, good stuff.
Yeah, like I said, Breaking the Chain, the first video, like, very corny, great song. Just watch it. We've talked about before. We did other Dokken albums. Jeff Pilson had just joined the band. I think Mick Brown had just joined the band as drummer, like seriously the week before. So you could see him slapping the bass, not really playing it. Kind of funny if you know anything about music and how they play the bass guitar, but MTV was early. No one really cared. It's like, oh, they're so, whoa, but very corny video, but very good.
But they are, you listen to the songs, you can pick the music, the bass, the good bass, the lead guitar, the drumming work, Dokken's voice. They're good. It's worth giving a listen to. Like I said, it's probably not in many people's collection, but it's worth listening to. The rest of their stuff is very, very good, but this is their debut studio album. Any questions, comments, leave a comment below.
Just a little disclaimer. What we do for you people. That's the tornado siren going off in the back, and I'm sitting here still talking to you.
We've got to focus on Dokken and get the podcast at all expense.
And I got a pizza in the oven, so that's just going to have to wait. This is going to have to wait.
All right, we'll see you all next time. We're going to cut this one a little short here, and leave your comments below.
See ya.
See ya.